Good evening and welcome to the City Council regular meeting Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we move on to the agenda, I've been asked this evening to read a statement and follow it with a moment of silence. Tomorrow, February 18th, marks 2 years since the city of Burnsville lost three first responders in the line of duty. Police officers Paul Elmstrand, Matthew Rogie, as well as firefighter paramedic Adam Finseth were killed while responding to a domestic violence call. These first responders gave the ultimate sacrifice for the community they swore to protect and serve. On behalf of the City of Rosemount and the City Council, we'd like to honor their sacrifice with a moment of silence. Thank you. As many of you know, the City of Rosemount had officers participate during that event as well. So it's very near and dear to our officers. Moving forward, do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Nothing, sir.
I am aware that we will be moving item 3B to the first location and 3A to the second location. With that, I'll move the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have an agenda. So item first up is 3B, Officer VONBANK, oath of office. Chief.
Mayor, City Council, staff, I'm honored and excited to talk about one of our new and upcoming officers in our department. Over the last couple months, we have been doing many oaths of office, and I pause today to think what an awesome responsibility that is. We don't ever want to pass over this opportunity. Oftentimes, it's a celebration up here, but it really is a celebration for our young officers stepping into that role into our city to serve and protect, that they're making the ultimate commitment. We just talked about Burnsville, the things they're running into, these unprecedented times, and we have young men and women who are stepping up and saying, I want to take that call on. I want to serve my community, and I want to see a better community because I'm part of what's going on. So it's really exciting. So tonight we get to talk about Chloe VONBANK. Chloe grew up in Rosemount with her parents and her two older sisters. She graduated from Rosemount High School in 2002 and continued her education in Inver Hills Community College. Correction, she didn't graduate in 2002, 2022. That would make her a few years older. My apologies. So it's a typo. That's why I have my glasses on. So backing up, she graduated in 2022 and continued her education in Inver Hills Community College, where she received her associate arts degree in criminology. During this time in November of 2023, she started her career with the Rosemount Police Department as a community service officer. Upon graduation in 2024, when she decided that she would put her hat into the mix when we opened a position up for peace officer. Chloe tested, and she tested strong. She was selected in the top 3 of that selection process with Braden and Jalen. During that time, we were able to get the grant for the IC Poet project, and it came time for her to be off to the technical school. And unbeknownst to her, the one that was slotted for her was Alexandria. So you can imagine having that conversation where it was like, Chloe, thank you for taking on this endeavor, but can you pack up your clothes because you're going to be moving a couple hours away. And so we walked through the process with her. We found her a place to stay. We did everything we could to make connections, but it was upon her to make the ultimate sacrifice, step up to the game, be accountable. No one was up there from our department supporting her day in and day out. So it was up to her and her classmates to be successful. And in 2025, Officer VONBANK successfully completed the program and received her certification in law enforcement skills. Once completing the program, Chloe came back to our agency for the rigorous FTO program, where she completed that officially and became a solo beat officer in July of 2025. Officer Van Bank loves to read, ski, cook, work out, travel, hang out with her puppy, and work on jigsaw puzzles. I found this interesting. If law enforcement wasn't in her cards, she wanted to be an astronaut. So, very high ambition, awesome. But we're grateful to have her with our department. The Rosemont Police Department and the City of Rosemont were honored for her work ethic, her ability to communicate at all levels, her positive attitude, and her willingness to go above and beyond to help someone out. I can't tell you how many times coming into conversations with her, because she's currently working midnights, about the kind of things she's seeing and involved in, and her maturity level is beyond the years in how she identifies and tackles problems first by words, then by actions, and always trying to find that common ground with our community. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and have the city clerk come up and have this opportunity to have Chloe come up for the oath of office.
VONBANK, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Minnesota, and will faithfully discharge the duties of an officer of the police department for the city of Rosemont, in the county of Dakota, in the state of Minnesota, to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God.
So Chloe has chosen her sister to come up and do the badge fitting, but also she wanted to make it very clear that she couldn't have done this without family and friends. As you look out right now and see the vast eyes who are celebrating this, this really is a testament to your celebration. No officer in our department can make it on their own, and she'll learn that through our wellness program, and that means you're a part of this journey too, so we thank you for that. So without further ado. Council, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I don't know why.
No, I almost did too. I was close.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I saw family members starting to tear up, so then I started tearing. Do you need a Kleenex, Tammy? Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my gosh. Well, he said 2002, and I looked at her face, and she goes,
I know,
let
that's
him go.
what I said.
Let him go. He's rolling. I love it. Nice job, Chief.
I know.
Let's get my 17 pages of notes out here.
We'll take a few more minutes as we're transitioning from the oath of office for Officer Van Bank from our police to firefighter swearing-in ceremonies. The firefighters are moving into council chambers now.
Come on in. Yeah.
Boy, it was really packed out there.
Oh, wow, it had been, yeah. There we go, Chris.
Okay. Ready to go, Chief?
Everybody's in? I think so.
All right.
All right, this works if I stand over on this side? You can hear me okay?
Should be.
All right. All right, Mayor, council members, fellow department directors, thank you again for giving us a few minutes tonight as we take some time to recognize the dedication and the hard work of our firefighters. Today, we stand at an intersection of both tradition and future. The badges we pin on these brave firefighters tonight carry a heavy weight. They carry the weight of history, a history that was written by those who served before us. And I can tell you, 36 years ago, I remember this moment. I remember the excitement, the nerves, the pride as I received my firefighter badge. And I can tell you that as I look at this group that's being sworn in tonight, and I look at the future of our fire department as well as the fire service, I got to tell you, I couldn't be more proud of what we have ahead of us. The badges you will receive today represent more than just a symbol of your accomplishments. They're a promise. They're a promise to our community that help will always come when called upon. They're a promise to your fellow firefighters that you'll stand shoulder to shoulder with them, no matter the challenge, and a promise to yourself that you'll uphold the values and traditions that have defined the Rosemount Fire Department. So firefighters, as I call on each of you, please step forward as we share a little bit about you. So we'll start with firefighter AJ Larson. AJ actually joined the fire department in 2020 during the time of COVID when we weren't doing recognitions. So this is an opportunity for AJ to complete this piece of this process and get the recognition he deserves. A proud graduate of Rosemount High School, AJ enlisted in the United States Navy following graduation and was stationed in San Diego, California. After completing his military service, he spent several months backpacking through Europe before returning to San Diego to work in government contracting. At the age of 30, he decided to return home to Minnesota to plant his roots, purchasing a home just blocks away from his parents. He joined the department in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. His passion for firefighting has even landed him a full-time position with the Red Wing Fire Department. Last year, he married his wife Rachel, and in December, they welcomed their son Camden to the family. So joining AJ tonight is his son Camden, his parents Shirley and Phil, and his wife Rachel, who will be pinning on his badge this evening. And logistically, maybe we'll just kind of start up here then. So, all right, firefighter Travis Bolton. Born in St. Paul, Minnesota, Travis was raised in South St. Paul by his mother Kelly and father Brian. He has a younger sister, Amanda. He graduated from South St. Paul High School in 2002 and continued on at Lake Superior College, graduating with a degree in fire administration and technology. He currently works as a Tier 3 professional for St. Paul Public Schools, and in his free time, Travis loves coaching, observing, and playing both hockey and soccer, especially with his 3 children who are all amazing athletes. He also enjoys camping, fishing, and golf. Travis is joined tonight by his children Ethan, Liam, and Aubrey, and his wife Jackie, who will be pinning on his badge this evening. Firefighter Ryan Meltrud. Ryan was born and raised in Eagan, Minnesota, and has called Rosemount home since 2015. He works for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the New England District, where he serves as Deputy Division Chief in the Regulatory Division. Ryan is a graduate of the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, earning a BS in Environmental Science, Policy, and Management in 2010. He and his wife, Sari, have been married for nearly 14 years and are proud parents to 3 daughters, Emma, Harper, and Carly, who are here tonight with Ryan. In his spare time, Ryan enjoys hunting, playing hockey, woodworking, and coaching youth hockey, and he says he is honored to serve his community as a firefighter. I'm going to take a quick break, and unbeknownst to Ryan, I'm also going to announce that tonight, publicly for the first time, that Ryan is the recipient of the 2025 Rookie of the Year Award. Voted on by his peers. So I'm going to take you back. And Ryan's wife, Sari, will be pinning on his badge this evening. Firefighter Rob McManus. And you can't help but smile with this one. Rob's story starts on the mean streets of Glasgow, Scotland, the birthplace of his rough and tough exterior, his cheeky sense of humor, and his alter ego, the Highlander. Upon graduating from high school, Rob worked as a bricklayer by day, but his true passion was to wrestle professionally alongside the likes of Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage. With his dream to guide him, Rob packed his Scottish charm and his kilt and headed to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, to learn from the illustrious Hart family in the infamous dungeon. Rob's hard work and amazing talent allowed him to wrestle all over Canada, Europe, the US, and Japan. From pro wrestler to corrections officer, from sheriff training sergeant to executive protection inspector, from highly trained private security executive to Rosemount firefighter, Rob's resume has and continues to fulfill the dreams of boys everywhere, young and old, who have ever uttered the words, "When I grow up, I want to," because he's done it all. Joining Rob tonight are his children, Gabriel and Kalia, and his wife, Nagar, who will be pinning on his badge this evening. Firefighter Steve Niehaus. Steve lived in Rosemount since second grade. He graduated from Rosemount High School in 2007 and continued on to receive a bachelor's degree in computer science. Steve currently works as a full-time firefighter for the Woodbury Fire Department and is enrolled in attending paramedic school. In his free time, which I don't quite understand how you have any, he loves to spend time with his family, and he enjoys hunting pheasants and deer. This July, he will be married to his wife, Jamie, for 16 years. Joining Steve tonight are his wife, Jamie, and his 4 children, Landon, Aubrey, Liam, and Madison. And Steve's wife, Jamie, will be pinning on his badge this evening. Firefighter Alex Wittick. Alex grew up with 4 sisters and a nephew that was more like a little brother. Alex was raised in Egan and moved to Rosemount in high school. He attended Inver Hills Community College, where he received his associate's degree. Alex is currently employed as a truck driver for Dayton Freight, where he has been employed for over 10 years. In the last 2 years, Alex has gotten married, joined the fire department, and welcomed his first child. He enjoys sports, working out, and any other type of physical activity. Alex is excited about what the future holds with this new endeavor. Joining Alex this evening is his mother, Lynn, sisters Corey and Mackenzie, his daughter Violet, and his wife Allie, who will be pinning on his badge this evening. And I promise it's here. I have to go back one, so my apologies for going out of order, but Firefighter Chase Hopkins. Chase grew up in Farmington, Minnesota, and joined the Marine Corps Infantry after graduating from Farmington High School. After his deployment and completion of a 5-year enlistment, he returned to Minnesota, where he attended Hamline University. He graduated with honors with a degree in environmental science. Chase is passionate about the outdoors, he enjoys playing sports, and likes to go on camping trips with his partner Liv and their dog Laika. Chase is joined tonight by his brother Kyle, his sister-in-law Andrea, and their 2 children, Rowan and Wyatt. Chase's brother Kyle will be pinning on his badge this evening. All right, and with that, we'll call up our city clerk to administer the oath of office.
Go all at the same time.
Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And of the state of Minnesota. And will faithfully discharge the duties.
So as we call our badge pinners up, and you can come up now and stand next to your firefighter, I wanted to at least talk a little bit about this process. To each of you, you've proven your skills and training, but the real test still lies ahead. You'll face moments that will challenge you physically, mentally, and emotionally. But keep in mind, you won't face these challenges alone. Look to your left, look to your right, look out in the crowd. These are your brothers and sisters. They'll be here to help you. They'll be here to lift you up when you're tired. They'll be here to share in your successes, and they'll be here to comfort you when you need it, and to remind you why we do what we do. To our badge pinners and to the rest of the families that are out here tonight, your support has been vital in getting your loved ones to this point tonight. The late nights, the missed events, the worrying, it's all part of loving a firefighter. Know that your sacrifices do not go unnoticed and they do not go unappreciated. You are as much a part of this family as the people standing up here in their uniforms. So as we complete the badge pinning ceremony, we're not just marking the end of your training, we're welcoming you into a legacy of service, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to others. Wear your badges with pride, but more importantly, wear them with an understanding of what they truly represent, the trust that our community places in each and every one of you. You can now pin on your badges.
It's a good thing we don't have this as city council get pinned.
All right, congratulations. Did everybody get their photos? Did you get a photo?
Yes, but we should get one with you in there.
Well, yeah.
All right, everybody switch over. Yeah. Bring it in.
All working together anyway, right?
We don't have donuts, but we do have cake and coffee back at Station 2 for anybody who can make it.
It's a cop thing.
Thanks.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
What?
A couple little babies over there.
Oh, there's another. Oh, in the car seat.
Awesome. Nobody here for the water.
So as the 7 firefighters and their families are leaving the council chambers here, we will move from item 3 on its completion to item 4, response to public comment. I understand we do not have any this evening. We'll move to item number 5, public comment. Anyone wishing to come before council with a comment or question may do so at this time.
Looks like I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I'm the only one here.
Let me finish before, responses and questions, comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please state your name and address, and you may begin. Floor is open.
My name is Ryan Jacobson, 15736 Cicerone Path. I would just love some details on the West JC water tower situation that I just got the note on this afternoon in the mail. What kind of chemicals, how wide does that well draw from? Any type of details would be greatly appreciated on that.
Thank you. Normally, we don't respond to questions and comments. We usually come back the following week, but this evening, in anticipation of the vast amount of responses,
Yeah, sweet.
you got one to show up here, but we've seen it on social media. I'll turn it over to our Public Works Director, Nick Egger, for comment regarding the letter.
Sure, Mayor. I had a bunch of key points I wanted to identify. I don't know if you want to go through every one of those at this point or later on in the meeting.
Might
But
as well do them
Yeah.
now.
okay. Well, I might have to take a break for a sip or two of water to wet my whistle too while I do this, because I do have a number of things here. Just wanted to start out by saying that public water systems in Minnesota are one of the most regulated things there are. And the city is required to do very frequent testing, in fact, on a quarterly basis for a number of different things. So we're always watching what the composition of our drinking water is, and we have the Department of Health who regulates that and sets expectations and standards and holds us to certain thresholds of things. And so with respect to the notice that went out, the gross alpha radiation, that is one of the things they keep an eye on. And what we recently learned through the regular testing that we do on a quarterly basis is that with well number 8, which is one of our 9 wells that we use to supply water in the city, that the levels were above what their standard allows. And for that, as an outcome in the immediate time frame, we're required to put a notice out to all of the water system customers. So anybody who receives water service from the city system. And we had a 30-day clock to be able to do that. Now, I know there's been a little bit of commentary on why did it take that amount of time. It takes time to assemble the composition of the notice. It takes time to produce that on paper, stuff 10,000 plus envelopes and apply postage and on and on. So there is some production time involved in that. Not to mention, we do go through iterations where we're asking the Department of Health to weigh in on the content of the letter, which we did a few iterations of. So that addresses that part of it. Another thing that I want to stress is that it's not considered an emergency by the Department of Health. We did lead with that at the very top of the letter. It states that clearly. However, obviously, it is a serious matter, and the city is required to follow up on it and pursue solutions, and so we're already in the midst of starting to work on that. Those things will be evaluated over the coming months, and we'll bring back recommendations that'll be discussed with the Utility Commission and with the City Council before we take a direction going forward. With respect to the radiation in general, this comes from naturally occurring elements in the Earth's surface. All of our water comes from underground in aquifers, and that's in natural geologic conditions contribute to this sort of thing. So it's not an uncommon issue in Minnesota and in this part of the state in particular. We know we have neighbors, neighboring communities who also have had issues like this before us. So and they've had to provide their own responses on those. Something that we've done in preparation for all of this is we did set up a city webpage that will have all of the content about how we deal with the matter going forward. So that's referenced in the letter, and I'll say right here, the The specific address for that page is www.rosemountmn.gov/water quality. This is in big bold print on the notice as well, but I want to make sure to share that here. For now, the information that's there is it's pretty minimal to begin with. It has a copy of the notice. It has a link to a frequently asked question page about this sort of issue that was sourced from the Department of Health, so you can learn more about the specifics by reading that. It's only 2 or 3 pages long. It's very plain language oriented. I would highly, highly encourage everybody to go and take a look at that, because I think that will help ease concerns and explain how this issue, in terms of relative risk to many other things that we experience in day-to-day life, is not as serious as some folks might think, just on a surface level. So I wanted to make sure to point that out. The other piece about the website is we're going to be required to provide quarterly updates on this issue as we continue to work through it. So every 3 months or so, we'll be refreshing the content on there, providing status updates of where we're at and working through the study that we're doing, and eventually the direction going forward. We will make a point of calling attention to that in the citywide quarterly newsletter that we mail out in the spring, summer, fall, and winter. The last couple things that I have here, I think I've covered just about everything, but just lastly, to bring a human element back to it. City staff take it seriously, not only because it's our job and we're required to do it, but we also spend a lot of our waking hours here, and we work here, we drink the water too. So it's, I just want to kind of level set that this is something that we're obviously going to be very invested in, making sure is handled in the right way going forward. It just takes a lot of work and analysis, and we need to be pragmatic about it and bring forward solutions that are palatable and reasonable to have the council consider for the final direction. So wanted to end on that note.
One follow-up, Nick, I'm wondering if you can speak to, is the testing occurs at the well, is that correct?
That is correct. The Department of Health grabs their samples at the well source, so that's...
And so the way our system currently is set up, with a fair amount of mixing of water from multiple wells, what we get at the tap is significantly less. Am I correct in that?
Well, I don't want to put an exact figure on anything, but it's reasonable to assume it would be different than what you have directly out of the ground at the well, because that water will then travel through miles and miles of pipes before it reaches any particular home. And it's combining with water from other wells on that journey and going into our water towers. So it's reasonable to say that the water sources blend at some degree, but it varies seasonally, operationally, with which particular wells might be operating. So we can't put exact measurements on that, and we haven't taken samples on this particular thing at the tap at a household per se. It's only so far to date at the wells themselves, because that's what the requirement is.
And so just a quick question, you know, as a resident, and a couple of things here, and I believe it's covered in the letter, but there's no action needed by a resident today, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. And then I was also just processing through my own timeline of living here for almost 19 years now, but when I moved here, I had an infant who was drinking formula. So for our residents who maybe have a vulnerable population like that, is there anything they need to take advantage of, or how wide is the group of pediatricians maybe who have been notified so they can consult with them? Like, what does that look like? Is there any action necessary there?
Yeah, on the matter of medical advice, that's not something we would give as city staff. Obviously, we're not doctors. We don't know specifics about any particular individual's medical history or needs there. I would just encourage folks to talk with their provider directly on that front and ask the same questions, present the letter and the information to them, and get an evaluation and professional opinion from a medical professional.
Thank you.
How big is well 8 then? And like, if I'm looking at it, how far is that going to draw from within the groundwater? I mean, there's a lot of development in that area, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that's impacting what's going on underneath.
Well, number 8 has been in place for a number of years. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 30-plus years that we've had that well in service. It's in more the western, southwestern part of the city. But that said, to my point earlier, any well that we have in our system can provide water to completely different areas of the city, just depending on how the system may be operating at that point in time, where the push and pull of water use demand may be. So I don't want anyone to think that they're consuming water only from one specific well. That's not really how the system works. There's a push and a pull depending on where in the city the demand might be and the specific combination of wells that we might be operating any given day. It's not locked or fixed in a spot where a well is providing water only to an exclusive area.
No, excuse me. If you're finished.
He's good, yeah. I can come back up.
Okay. All right, just, yeah, you may have missed the intro, but you can come before council, state your name, your address, and then your question or comment for us.
Okay, John Loca, 13134 Crawley Court. And I just wanted to make a point of clarification on how the city water is working. Like how many wells do we have? And then is everyone drinking the same proportion of water from different wells? So at any given point, like, is Ryan getting the same water as I am from each well? And then the third one is, how has this trended? Do we have any data around how this has progressed over the last 10 years?
Okay, to your first question about, I think you asked what
How many
proportion of-
wells?
How many wells? I'm sorry. Yeah, we have 9 wells that we operate, and we rotate which wells are operating on a kind of an annual basis. Every couple of months, we're changing the primary contributors to water supply for that time period. So
Yeah.
you might have 2 to 3 in a group supplying most of the water during January, February. March, April, we're switching to a different set that are the primary drivers. Now in summertime, when we have high temperatures and a lot of lawn irrigation going on, we could see water from all 9 wells contributing into the system because the demand is so high.
There's like a hierarchy then of how the wells are getting used?
There's an operational matrix that we use to balance out the wear and tear. These are mechanical machines, and we like to try to not burn any of them out by overusing them.
Okay.
So that's a big part.
Is well 8 one of the primary ones, or is that one that gets kicked in during the summer?
Well, it varies throughout the whole course of the year. Some months it might be a primary contributor, other months it's kind of on the back end.
Is there any data that shows how often 8 is getting used relative to the others?
We have monthly pumping reports that we do, and we report out on that to our utility commission.
Okay.
We've got to keep the data because we have permits from the DNR for the amount of water that we pump out of the ground, and so we're tracking that all the time. I think you also asked about the testing trend line, so to speak. With respect to this one, we've seen gross alpha amounts fluctuate over the years, but the Department of Health standard is that it has to have an annual average. So you take into account a full year's worth of quarterly testing, and that measured amount, then if that is above what they set as the cap, then that puts us into needing to take action on it.
Okay. I guess to the question of like how this has trended, like, you know, these are like, I mean, ground doesn't move too fast. It's just like geographical decay, like radiation, and I think like radon's another one. It doesn't seem to necessarily like change very fast. So I'm just curious here if we have any information around how this has changed over the last 5 years.
Not off the top of my head, I don't. I'm working off of what gets reported back to us just from the Department of Health's direction on this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so we hit like an elevated level. At that point, it's a concern. And then there's ways to mitigate it, but like retroactively, like what are the actions that we would take if we said like, yeah, over the last 5 years, these levels have gone really, really high, and there's really not like a natural reoccurring cause for these variations in this trend. Does that make sense? I think like if we look at the last 5-10 years and we see that there's a variation and there's a trend line that doesn't make sense, to that point of like, I think what Brian was asking is like,
Yeah, I think the context that we're working with here is that there has to be a sustained level for it to be considered something that we need to take action towards. That's
Yeah.
why there's this annual average that is utilized as the bar. We wouldn't want, the Department of Health wouldn't put it on us to have to change things over one test result.
for sure.
Is kind of what I'm getting at there. You might see a spike one quarter, and then things drop back down to well within acceptable ranges the next quarter. So they want to see something that's sustained before they're directing action to be taken.
Yeah, okay, and then with well 8, there's data on it to say how it's been trending over the last 5 years. We just don't know that.
I don't have it off the
Okay.
top of my head, no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Information like that will eventually be
on the website?
available on the website.
We've seen that type of question so far this afternoon. We'll have to compile some things and then assemble it in a, format that's presentable for the webpage.
Best is watch for the website. And
Okay.
like I said, it's up and running now. There's additional information that'll be added
Okay.
over the next coming weeks and months.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Kids' activities. I can't make all these.
Excuse me, restate your name and address, please.
Ryan Jacobson, 15736 Cicerone Path. Can I get a background on the assessment that I'm getting for the summer to repave the roads, which are badly needed, and we didn't plow this winter, so I feel we forgot about them, and the curb? I'm trying to understand like what I pay taxes for if I already have a curb that's in great condition and the road needs to be repaved. So I figure that's just part of the $7,200 I'm getting hit with now as part of my property tax. Where does it go where it's assessment versus taxes?
There will be an assessment hearing where those questions will be responded to on 317.
Correct.
I'm not going to be here on 317, so we can.
That information will be available to you, both.
Yeah, if I could jump in on that one too. You'll get
my man
mailed a
today.
notice ahead of that meeting, and then that'll explain what the assessment amount is for the project. A little bit later on in the meeting, we've got a contract award on that one, and I will say that our bidding results came in at a lower value than what was estimated, so that translates into an assessment amount being a bit lower than what your estimate might have been given to you when you went to the neighborhood meeting a few months back.
Yeah.
So it's good news on that front. But yes, as the mayor said, the hearing covers the details behind everything and walks through all of that. And our city engineer would be available for a phone call to give you a kind of a one-on-one report on that.
So at 317, I'll know like my property taxes would cover this, but we're getting assessed because it's this. We can't answer that tonight. That's at 317.
Right.
Right. The assessment hearing discusses specifically just the assessment related to the road project. We don't get into the rest of property tax components at that meeting. That's a different truth and taxation meeting that happens towards the tail end of each calendar year.
Okay.
If it's your regular property taxes, that was held in December. And then
Okay.
you probably are getting
You guys are
a,
gonna get sick of me. I'm gonna start showing up to this if you can't. Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with any other questions or comments? Again, state your name and address.
It's 1573 Ryan Jacobson, 15736 Cicerone Path. Is there like an economic development meeting and a future planning meeting that on a specific date that I would have to attend
Or
for like the Rosemount plan, 5 and 10 year growth plan?
Comprehensive guide plan?
Sure, if
on
that's
the
what.
website, 2040 comp
Right,
plan.
but do we have a specific meeting? Like the 317 is to understand my property tax versus the city assessment. Is there a specific date where we like go in depth on the 2024 that's in addition to the website?
Not at this time. I guess I'll turn it over to Mr. Keenberger, I guess, to explain a little bit about the current process for the 2050 guide plan.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we can, can get into some pieces now where we can provide the resident with some follow-up information after this meeting per our public comment criteria on here. But generally speaking, we update our comp plan every 10 years. We'll be beginning that process at the end of this year, which will be turned into Met Council by the end of December of 2028 for their review and ultimate adoption. So look for additional information coming out later this summer into fall to begin that process for the next outlook of 10 years, which extends the city's growth projections out through 2050.
Okay. And in terms of public meetings that the public could attend, what would those look like as that process starts to unfold?
There will be multiple, and it is not yet scoped because we have not engaged a consultant yet.
Okay.
We are just starting that process.
I like to plan ahead.
Cool. Planning way ahead. Thank you. With that, we will close the public comment this evening and move on to item 6, consent agenda. This evening on the consent agenda, we have bill listings, minutes of the January 30th, 2026, special and regular meeting proceedings, minutes of the of just the January 30th special work session, the minutes of the February 2nd regular and work session proceedings. We received a donation acceptance for Minnesota Energy Resources of $500 for a park and rec safety program for use there. Donation acceptance from First State Bank of Rosemont in the amount of $1,000, again for park and rec and the safety program. A donation acceptance from the American Legion Post 65 in the amount of $6,000 for table and furniture. The remodeling occurring for the fire station number 2 with the duty crew efforts that are being, that just started. Declaring vehicle, airbag, prop, and trailer, and the fire rescue boat and trailer as surplus property. Amendment to our 2026 schedule of rates and fees. The approval of city council travel. Request by Greg Fox for a lot division to create a 4.59 acre parcel. Domestic preparedness joint powers agreement for the Domestic Preparedness Committee within the Dakota County area. And then the award contract setting assessment hearing for 2026 street improvement project, which is what we had mentioned before, establishing that date at 3/17/2026. So with that, any items anyone wishes to pull for further consideration or comment?
No.
Seeing none, would anyone like to move the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Klimpel, second by Tyson. Roll, please.
Essler?
Aye.
Klimpel?
Aye.
Weisenthal?
Aye.
Tyson?
Aye.
Prusky?
Aye.
That completes consent agenda, approved 5-0. We'll move to public hearings. Item number 7A, request by KAMAL, OMAR, and APPRO Development, Inc. for the vacation of drainage. Mr. Keenberger.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Before you this evening is a public hearing for KCI for their easement vacation request. City Council is being asked to consider a request to vacate all portions of the existing drainage and utility easements within lots 2 through 4 in the Biscayne Business Park. This is located just off of Biscayne on the south side of town, a little bit south of Omni, just north of County Road 46. Planning Commission and the City Council approved a site plan and conditional use permit to allow the applicant to construct a major automotive repair business on 3 of those parcels, lots 2, 3, and 4. within the the Biscayne Business Park in spring of this past year. Two conditions associated with the approval of site plan were to vacate the existing perimeter drainage and utility easements between those three parcels over the existing ponds and dedicate new drainage and utility easements required by the city engineer. We see these types of actions fairly frequently when we have new developments coming in. So for example, in this case, the original developer platted the lots all separately with the idea that they would sell them off one by one. Every now and then you get somebody says, I want to take all three and put a building on there, in which it often then would require a different easement arrangement. So the easements to be vacated here include the drainage and utility easements along the internal boundaries of the existing parcels, as well as those over the footprints of the existing ponds. The applicant's plan shows the ponds being remade into a single pond to extend along the southern boundary of the subject parcels, and the new drainage and utility easements are shown as attached in the packet to be located around the perimeter of the three subject parcels. One of the conditions of this approval is that the dedication of new drainage and utility easements will be required prior to any grading or a building permit approval. The design of the final stormwater pond is being reviewed by the city's engineer for conformance with city standards, as is our common practice. So there is a recommended motion before you, and just a reminder that it is a public hearing and staff can take any questions at this time.
Any questions for Mr. Kienberger? Seeing none, then we will open up the floor to comment for the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak before council on this matter may do so at this time. Please state your name, address, and your question or comment. Floor is open. Anyone? Anyone? Seeing no one at this time, I will move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Got a motion and second to close the public hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Back to Mr. Kienberger. Are we ready? Any other comments, questions? Otherwise,
I'll make a
move the
motion.
motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution approving the vacation of the drainage and utility easements on lots 2, 3, and 4 in the Biscayne Business Park, subject to the dedication of the new on-site drainage and utility easements.
Second.
I have a motion by Tyson, second by Essler. Roll, please.
Klimple.
Aye.
Weisenthal.
Aye.
Tyson.
Aye.
Ruski.
Aye.
Essler.
Aye.
And the vacation is passed 5-0. That completes item 7A. We will move on to item 8, unfinished business, which we have none this evening. Item 9, new business, which we have none this evening. And we are to announcements number 10. Any city staff updates?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor. Everything was addressed during public comment by Public Works Director Egger.
All righty. With that, we'll move to upcoming community calendar, item 10B.
You got it.
Yep, I got it here. On February 21st from 9 to 10:30, there at Fire Station Number 1, there will be a firefighter recruitment event. It'll be an open house style event for prospective firefighters. Park and Natural Resource Commission meeting, February 23rd from 7 to 8 p.m. here at City Hall. Planning Commission meeting on February 24th, 2026, 6:30 to 7:30 here at City Hall. And our Youth Commission meeting on February 25th from 3:45 to 4:45 at Fire Station Number 1. It is different than their normal location. The next time City Council gets together will be at the work session on March 3rd, 2026 from 5 to 6 p.m. 5 to 6? 5 to 7. 5 to 7 p.m. Followed by the City Council meeting from 7 to 8 p.m. Additionally, for our community, tomorrow, 2/18 represents several important days for our residents. It is the beginning of Ramadan from 2/18 to 3/19. as well as Lent starts 2/18 and completing on April 5th, Easter. Are there any other additions, quirks, and business? Seeing none, I'll move to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.